On the heels of that arrest in Cranston, we're learning more about a crackdown on child pornography in Rhode Island.
We've uncovered a major spike in arrests, and new tonight we have details on what's behind it. Let's get right to Target 12 investigator Walt Buteau for details you'll see only on Eyewitness News.
Thanks to a stronger task force, the number of Rhode Islanders taken into custody for child pornography in the last year has nearly doubled. But investigators tell us it is still a multi-billion-dollar industry thanks to the internet. Sexually explicit images of children are bought, sold, and shared online on a daily basis. More than 80% of the victims are under 10 years old. That's according to a new study from the Internet Watch Foundation, a collection of government, law enforcement, and IT professionals. The study also finds more than 40% of child porn images show sexual activity between children and adults.
You carry the guilt, you carry the shame.
Mary Byrne was sexually assaulted as a child. She now volunteers as an advocate for survivors of abuse. She tells Target 12 pictures of the crime victimize the child over and over and over as the porn is circulated on the internet.
Much worse. I can't even imagine. If I knew that there were pictures of me out there, even as I aged, if they were from my childhood, I think the shame would be worse.
This is the brain center for the State Police Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. The group is made up of state, federal, and local officers, as well as prosecutors, educators, and technology experts. Their job, to investigate any reports of exploitation or criminal activity against children on the internet.
The other end of that camera are young children, young people that are being victimized, that are being actively molested. These aren't victimless photos.
Last year, state police beefed up their computer crimes unit with additional technology and personnel. They also teamed up with more local police departments who lend their officers to the task force. The results were immediate. 41 arrests for child pornography were made in Rhode Island in 2013. Last year, that number jumped to 74, an 80% increase.
It's a little bit of everything.
Schramm will not go into detail about strategy or technology, but he tells us task force officers are trained to keep up with their targets, who he says share ways to hide what they do.
Sometimes it's proactive, undercover type of investigations that we're involved with, and we take those as far as we can to determine what's really taking place and who's involved.
They're trauma victims, right?
Amy Battersby is the clinical director for Day One, which advocates for sexual assault victims as their cases move through the justice system. She tells us there's a definite link between child porn and sexual assault.
People who have been arrested on first-degree or second-degree child molestation are likely to have looked at child pornography.
Police recognize that connection as well. That makes weeding out the pornography suspects even more vital. While investigators are encouraged by the 80% increase in arrests, they tell us they're not done.
I would say we win the war every day by every single investigation, every single arrest. I don't look at it as a total victory ever. It's just something that you have to continue to chip away at and work on.
The task force is funded by the U.S. Department of Justice, and so far this year, there have been 23 more arrests. With the Target 12 investigators, Walt Buteau, Eyewitness News.
There's more vital information for parents and kids on our website, including ways to stay safe online, resources for victims of cyber crime, and much more. It's all on WPRI.com.